Hi, this is Vivian Vandeveld. I am here to read to you chapter 43 from Allison, Who Went Away. I decide I'd better hit my parents with the question of whether I can go to the dance while they're still basking in the glow of my success. Besides, if I ask them right away and they say no, I'll have 4.5 days to whine and pester. As soon as I get into the car, I say, "Thanks for coming to the play." "We wouldn't have missed it," Mom tells me. "You were great," Wally says. Brian says, "Your boobs show too much." I check, just to make sure. Not that there's much to check, but Brian's just being a pain. He thinks all women should wear turtleneck sweaters the way his kindergarten teacher does. I've even heard him ask Grandma Castleman if she knows her top button's undone. And this doesn't even have anything to do with Allison, because he was too young to notice people's clothes back then. I should have known that if there was anything immodest about my costume, Mom would have complained already. Now she glances back. She knows, but she wants to check too, and she smiles at me. If she wasn't looking, I'd twist Brian's ear for destroying my momentum and putting Mom in mind of clothes that reveal too much. "And thanks for waiting around for me," I say. "Our pleasure," answers Wally, who's the one doing the driving. Enough polite banter. I take a deep breath and jump in. Do you remember Spencer?" Nobody says anything for a few seconds. Then Mom asks, "Was that the nightclub owner?" "No, no," I say, "not from the play. I mean, from the play, but not one of the characters. Spencer at the end, who saved your daughter from looking like a total moron." I figure it can't hurt to remind them how much we as a family are indebted to him. "Oh, yes," Mom says, "Spencer." "Well," I continue, "he and I were thinking." Mom, still facing the back, raises her eyebrows quizzically to keep me going. "We were wondering if it'd be all right. You see, Mother of Sorrows is having this dance." That does it. I see Mom shut down completely. She turns around to look out the front windshield. "Susan," she says in that disappointed voice of hers, which is supposed to make me feel guilty for even asking. "It's just for the freshmen," I say, "so she'll realize there won't be any older kids around, and that it'll be a small gathering." I don't come anywhere near telling her about Matt's offer. "Susan," Mom tells me, "you know we think 14 is too young to start dating." "But even the nuns don't think 14 is too young," I protest. "And everybody is going. Connie and Waukesha and even Sharon Rusher Smith." Mom just shakes her head, which I guess is better than the old "if everybody else's parents told them they could jump off a bridge" routine. But it leaves me with nothing to argue against. I backtrack, too. "And it isn't a date. It's just a bunch of us at a dance." "Don't take that tone with me," Mom says, and I realize I have been maybe getting a little bit loud. Next to me, Brian puts his hands over his ears, scrunches his eyes shut, and starts rocking back and forth, humming loudly. Not a song, just a single loud note, like a constipated elephant, which is a strong indication that even if he was too young to notice people's clothes when Allison was living with us, he hasn't been too young to notice the arguing. "Brian," Wally says sharply. No effect. Mom gives me a "now see what you've done" look. "Brian," she says, but if Brian didn't hear Wally, Mom certainly isn't getting through. Even though we're almost home, Wally pulls over to the side and puts the car in park. He turns around in his seat to face the back. "Brian." He forces Brian's hands from his ears. Brian's humming becomes louder and more frantic. "Stop it," Wally commands. "No more fighting, no more fighting, no more fighting," Brian chants. "Brian, nobody's fighting. We're just discussing. Brian, everything's all right." Brian goes back to humming. Excuse me, without diminishing the noise level. He finally peeks open his eyes. Wally and Mom both smile and nod encouragingly. Even I smile at him and give him a friendly little punch on the leg. He stops humming. "Do you want to come up here and sit on Mommy's lap?" Mom offers. Brian nods. I unbuckle him, and Wally gets out to bring him around the car. Brian snuggles into Mom's lap and starts sucking his thumb. Wally comes back around to the driver's seat, and I see the look of exasperation on his face as he starts the car, but he doesn't say anything. It's only a dance, I repeat. Mom gives me a sharp look over Brian's shoulder. When is it? Wally asks. Mom turns her sharp look to him. Wednesday, I tell them. 7 till 11. It's the last day of school before Christmas vacation, so I don't have to get up the next day. Wally glances at Mom. Mom is looking like she's just realized this is all Wally's fault. If she hadn't allowed him to talk her into letting me join the play, I'd never have met Spencer, and I wouldn't now be asking to go to this dance. But maybe that isn't what she's thinking, because she doesn't say any of that. She buries her face in Brian's hair and says, We'll drive you there. I'm too shocked to say anything. We'll pick you up, or his parents can. We don't want him driving. I don't interrupt to tell her that Spencer's a couple months younger than I am, so he won't be doing his own driving for at least a year and a half. We don't want you leaving that dance for any reason, short of the building being on fire, no matter if it's too noisy or too boring, or if anybody wants to go across the street to McDonald's. You don't leave unless you call us first, and that's just to pick you up early. We don't want to hear anything else. I nod enthusiastically to everything. She adds, I get final veto power on what you wear. I nod, even to that. And, Wally says, if we even suspect that you've misbehaved, you're grounded until you're our age. Brian takes his thumb out of his mouth to say, in the odd voice that the thought of that deserves, wow. I want to point out, which I forgot to do at the beginning, that this book was written in 2001, and the laws and regulations regarding kids in car seats was much different than it is now. Anyway, I want to wish you be safe and be kind, please.